Now, I'm going to say this, and as a point, that every property has capacity to build wealth, or every property has potential for us to build wealth. But potential is not what you want. What you want is income. That at every particular point that you have your investment, you need your investment to be able to bail you out. Now, especially within this particular period where I know that a lot of us, our family, friends, neighbors, and this are probably going to be on our neck during this particular period, during this pandemic, where a lot of people are, where some people, they are going to be on your neck every time, calling you on phone, sending you WhatsApp messages and all that. And the challenge for you might not be that, oh, people are disturbing you so much so that there's really no opportunity for you to be able to even live your life. But the question, but the truth of the matter is simply this: every one of us who have bought land, we are not in error in buying land, but we are in error with the perception we use in buying land. Now, what every real estate stands on is land. Our error is the fact that some of us, we have been ballyhooed into the concept that when you own a plot of land, you automatically become wealthy. No, it's not true. Or when you buy a plot of land, you are waiting for the property to appreciate. And that is gambling. When you buy a plot of land and you expect that, okay, oh, when this property, when in the next 5 years, in the next 3 years, next 4 years, next 5 years, 10 years or so, this property will be from, this property that is currently maybe ₦1 million or probably 500,000 naira will appreciate to about, let's say, 2.5 million naira. We have also fallen victim to that too when we tell people that. And I'm going to be explaining to you how we were able to conquer that. A situation whereby somebody, you can also have a situation whereby somebody will be selling a plot of land to you. And the person will tell you that if you buy this plot of land, that in the next 12 months, we can buy it back from you and we can pay you back. The truth of the matter is this, and sometimes you take your money, you go buy the property. But here is the dynamics. Nobody can predict the future. If everybody can predict the future, some of us will have seen coronavirus. We'll have known that, okay, there will be coronavirus, because even some 6 months ago, some people did not know that the world will be on shutdown as we speak today. Some people do not know. So the listen, Mr. Lotidi, if you can just help us mute your sound, we'll appreciate it. So the challenge that a lot of people have, is not it's not about either you have seen it all and you're going to be able to predict what the future holds. That's not the issue. The issue is that nobody can give you accurate figure of what your property will be worth in the next 5 years and next 10 years. Nobody, we can only assume. And land buying for most people is speculation. But it is not good to speculate on an investment. It is good to be sure of an investment. That I am buying this land because I want to be sure. So for me, rather than buying for appreciation, rather buy the property for cash flow. Buy the property because you want the property to keep on yielding. And I'm going to be explaining why I'm thinking this way. Let's take, for example, I know that some of us, we know Victoria Island a lot. And sometimes when you drive around Victoria Island, you find out that there are many properties in Victoria Island that nobody is living in. A lot of properties are like that in Victoria Island. You drive across and you begin to imagine. But there are many people who say we are talking about housing deficit in Nigeria. Why is it that sometimes even on an entire street, you find out that you can count the number of people who live in that entire street? Why? Because it is not about the value of a property. A property can be worth 1 billion. Yet the owner of the property has 0 naira in his account. And whereas you who has a property somewhere in Mushi, you have a lot of tenants paying you for the property, rental property in Mushi, that is worth less than 50 million naira. Now you that your property is worth less than 50 million naira, you are enjoying probably maybe a rental income every year of 3.5 million naira. Whereas the person who owns a property worth 200 million naira or 700 million naira in Victoria Island, it's not any rental value from the property. Why? Because the idea, They have built everything on an error, and that's why people are really making money. So the reason why I should buy a property, a land itself, should be for me to be able to earn money from it. Appreciation of a property should be bonus. Appreciation of a property should not be what I am investing for. And that is the fact. That's why a lot of us, the property that we have bought, the land that we have bought, is not giving us the kind of return that we are supposed to be getting, because we bought the property in the hope that the property will appreciate. And I will say this to every one of us: hope is not a strategy for success. Hope is not a strategy for success. I'll keep on saying it. Hope is also not a business strategy. Hope is not an investment strategy. That I am hoping that 1 + 1 will be 2. It's not the same thing as being sure that 1 + 1 is 2. I am hoping that when I go out, when I step out, that I will make money. But I should be able to be sure enough that when I step out, I will make money. Why? Because if you follow the mathematics of real estate, then you will make money. But if you do not follow the mathematics of real estate and you do not follow the formula for real estate, you will not make money. Because there are formulas that guide us when we want to do investment. And that is why anybody who is buying property, you should buy property because you can make money from the property. So I'm going to be sharing with us the formula for rental income and why your land should be in a place where your land can be converted for good, to be able to convert it into a cash dumping ground. Now you bought land. Every location has a particular rental opportunity. Every location, whether the location is in Mushin, Badagry, Akure, Yanopaja, Aromire, Songwater, every property has its own peculiar market. Every property, no location is actually a waste. The problem with us is that we have not discovered the kind of property that suits our investment. Let us say maybe your property is located, you have a property located somewhere in Agbara, for instance. There's a kind of investment that you're going to put up in Agbara that will yield you what we call rental returns. What is rental returns? Rental returns is what can I do once on my land, on my property, on my landed property, that will yield me income again and again. What will I build one time that I will build once? Whether it's a face me, I face you apartment, or whether it's a 2-bedroom apartment, or probably it's a 3-bedroom apartment, whatsoever it is, what can I build on this thing that will yield income again and again for me for the rest of my life? That is what rental income is about. Now the question will now be, what can people use within this particular location? Within the location where I have my property, what kind of property can people use? So what is because you need to think in terms of what I call usability. A property must have high usability. Now, what kind of usage will people in this particular location where your property is, what kind of use would they want to use? What kind of thing would they want to use your property for? Until you discover this, you are not likely to make money. Until you discover this, you are not going to be able to make money, because a property value is predicated on the use of the property. A property value is predicated on the use of the property. If a property has zero value, it's not going to yield any income. If a property has zero value, it's not going to yield income. The question is, what value do you want to get from the property that you have? I hope you understand what I'm saying. I hope you're getting me. Can everybody hear me?
We can hear you, sir. We muted our mic so we can listen to you.
All right. So a property value is based on the income that the property can generate. The income, the capacity of the property. Now, what is the income value of my property? What can my property generate for me? It's based on the use of the property. So who will like to use my property? For example, you cannot build, it is strategically wrong for you to build a 7-bedroom duplex in somewhere like Mushin and you expect to get good return on investment on the property, no matter how luxurious the property is. The reason is this. Usability, rental income is equals to, I need you to write this down. Rental income is equal to usability plus income. Usability plus income. Rental income is equal to usability plus income divided by 30%. That is 30% of the people's income is what you probably need to pay as rent, right? 30% of the people's income is what you're probably going to pay as rent. Now, usability plus income divided by 30 is what is your rental income. Now, just imagine that the average income of the people probably maybe in your location is about 20,000 naira every, is about 100,000 naira every month. Now, what you will need to charge as rent may probably be 30,000 naira on the monthly basis, which when you calculate it may be 360,000 naira. That means if you are building a house, if you are going to do some level of development, you must begin to consider this in your construction. So you cannot afford to go and build a 7-bedroom duplex, hoping that you'll be collecting 360,000 naira every year on that property. That is why the kind of property that you will see in Mushin will be different from the kind of property that you will see in some part of Lekki. So you must understand usability. One, every property must, and let me tell you this, let me say this. Every property must have its own use. Every property must have its own particular use. So once you understand where your property location is, whether the property be in Ikorodu or the property be in Mowe or in Bejuleki, if you understand usability, you'll find out that it will not be difficult for you to get any people to come in to come and rent your property, irrespective of the location. So it's the income of the people that will determine what your rent value will become. And that is why some of us, we are struggling to fit in. Now, the other part, while we understand this part, do we have any question before now? Does anybody have any question? So before we go on, does anybody have any question? Okay, if you don't have any question, without any question, if you don't have any question, we're going to move on. Now, this aspect is now, yes, we have talked about building structure, but I don't have money to build. I just have this land. What am I going to build? And that is where a lot of us now need to come in. Now, that's where a lot of creativity now needs to come in. Then you must understand what I call the law of the ladder. The law of the ladder. You have talked about the formula. Now is the time to understand what I call the law of the ladder. What is the law of the ladder? The law of the ladder is about using leverage in real estate. I have a plot of land, but I do not have money to build what people can use this property for. So the question will now be, how do I position myself so that people can use this property? It will now be predicated on the ladder that I'm going to use. Now the question will now be, who can I meet that we can do what I call a joint venture? Who will I meet that we can do what I call a joint venture? Recently, we just did a joint venture with somebody that owns about 6 plots of land. That's 1 acre of land somewhere in Okwebi. And the idea this man is using is that this man came to me with us and says, I know you as developer, come and develop this property for us. I have this plot of land. This property has not been making money for me. I've not been making money from the property for any reason. Now, this property, in a way, is worth over 600 million naira in Okwebi. I mean, 600 because good location, sound location, lovely location. And this man has 6 plots of land, but it's not making money from it. So the property is worth over 600 million naira, yet it's not making a dime from the property. This man is rich on paper, but is not rich in terms of the cash flow. Now, the challenge he has is now how does he now convert his land to a cash dumping ground? So he came to me with us and he said, let us do a partnership together whereby you can build, and when you build, you can give me some part of it. as maybe about 30% or 20% of whatever it is. I can sell the property, or I can use the property to be able to, I can rent out the property. Now we are currently developing, we're going to develop over, I think, about 200 apartments on the 6 plots of land. Now, when you ask yourself, what is the percentage of what is 20% of 200 apartments? We're talking about 40 units. 40 units of 2-bedroom apartments is what this man is probably going to have. Now, when you look at it, if you multiply, even if this man is going to sell all these apartments for, let us imagine that, okay, selling it for 40 million naira, because it's in a great location, and he sells it for 40 million naira, what this man will have made from 40 apartments will be 1.6 billion naira. That means this man will be making 1 billion naira extra as what? As profits, without doing anything. He's just only handling the project. That is, if he's selling the land, if he's selling the apartment to people, he's going to make an extra 1 billion naira from his property that is worth 600 million naira. That is how you can do, that is how to use what I call leverage. That is what I simply call leverage. Now, or this man can say, okay, you know what, I'm going to sell just about half of this property so that I can make my money. I can have some money. Maybe I'm going to sell half of this entire 40 units. So he sells maybe about 20 units of it, and he has made over about 800 million naira. If he makes 800 million naira, he has gotten his capital back from the land, and he also has over 200 million naira as profit on his own. Now, just imagine that he takes the many 20 apartments, and what he does with the many 20 apartments is that he starts enjoying rent for the rest of his life on the same property that he owns. That is the concept of leverage. Now, for you to turn your land into a cash dumping ground, you must understand how to use leverage. You must understand how to share some part of whatever you have. You must, because what you already have is already an asset, but your land is a lazy asset until you put it to use, until you start doing something on it. The value of your property appreciates over time when you start working on it faster. So, but we are not talking about appreciation of property. We are simply talking about how to maximize the use of your land. So let me say that maybe I have a plot of land somewhere in, somebody was telling me this again, and somebody was also sharing something, and I shared this thing with the person. This person had over, had about 40, what does he have? He has about 1 acre of land in Abidjan, the Abidjan GRA. And he says, oh, what can you do on this particular plot of land for me? And I said to him, this is the same thing you can also do. You can also do this particular thing. And he was like, wow, so you mean I can have of this particular number of property? Guess what? The property is not even valued. It's not up to 6 plots of land is about maybe less than 60 million naira in that location. Now, if he sells this same property for maybe about 20 million naira, as the case may be, for a 2-bedroom, or probably he sells it for 50 million naira for a 2-bedroom, for 50, this thing, we'll be making over 600 million naira from a landed property that is worth just less than 60 million naira. And that is the way a lot of people get started. I was also discussing this with a radio presenter sometime back that also owns a land somewhere in Abraham Adesoya. And we share this concept, and this woman has actually started something on her own project because she's using what I call leverage. Leverage is a very, very critical tool for any one of us who wants to get started in real estate. You don't necessarily have to be the one that you use your money to build the house or to build the apartment. All you just need to do is to begin to look for people who can do what they call joint venture. You may not even have people who will do joint venture with you. And say, okay, one person will bring out the money to do it. Let me say, okay, whatever you're constructing, let's say it's about 100 million naira that you're going to probably require, or let's just say it's even 50 million naira that you require. All you just need to do is to get 10 persons that will give you 5 million naira. 10 persons who will give you 5 million naira each. And that's the way you could just probably get started. Because it is better for people to come in and invest with you, which is what we call using other people's money to invest in real estate. And that is the best way to really get started when you invest in real estate. I hope I've been able to share some stuff, because I have another class again that I'll also be teaching. Is a church that I'm going to be teaching So I may not want to just stretch out the time with us. I hope you have been able to learn something in this class today.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Trudy, good evening to everyone.
Good evening, sir.
So, like you said, a lot of us were bamboozled into buying land.
Yeah.
So me and some of my friends, we had to go buy land in Ekwe. Then when 4 years ago, when Ambode came into power, and I think, and you know, it was all about how those roads were being opened, how traffic would come into Ekwe, how everything would go, and then we bought those lands. We were taken to a place, we bought the land. I would not deny that it has not appreciated, but I think few months ago we went visiting to see the land, and we noticed that what we bought were farmland. Now we did not buy the land to become farmers. We bought the land to maybe in the near future start doing what you, like you said, start investing in the land, go into real estate and all, and maybe build something, rental income and all this. What would you advise us now who are stuck with a farmland? And we're not farmers. We don't know the next step to take. We're just stuck there. What would be your advice?
My advice is a tricky one. My advice is sell off, look at how you could dispose of that property. Look for how to dispose the property. You need cash urgently.
Okay.
Yeah. You need cash urgently. And it's almost like you need capital. And that's not the truth. You need and you don't need to tie down money. You need to dispose of the property so you could have cash to be able to reinvest in proper real estate.
Okay.
Because that property is not dependable. You cannot rely on that property. You cannot rely on that property for cash flow. You need to destroy that property in a way. If I have to use the word. So,
yeah.
You understand? So, and you need to also think in terms, except maybe you want to invest in farmland, or probably maybe you will have somebody who can be using the land for farming, giving you returns on the property. However, this is not the time for you to. This is the time for you to. If you can dispose the property. Whatever you can get from it, now use some part of it to get started in good location. Because when you get started in good location and you start making good income, maybe small income from it, what you can now do is that you can now have more money and more confidence to do more. But when you are not making money from any property, you become scared of even investing in any real estate again. So you need to dispose of the property and just, no matter what, just get started in a rental income project. And when you see, like for example, I was not taking real estate. I was taking real estate very serious until 2016. When I met a man, Baba Deyinka, and he showed me how the concept of rental income, and I started in 2017. I went from being rich to being poor in 2015, 2016. I mean, I was making some good money, but all of a sudden something just dried up during those particular period, and I was so broke. I was asset rich, but very, very cash poor. So I had assets, but no money. So what did I do? I decided to go back to this to rental income, and I was even meeting with street people on the street, to do deals with them. Let us do deals. That is what we are doing. We are now going into the street to go meet with landlords, and we are doing deals. We will now renovate property for them. When we signing up deals to renovate properties with them, and guess what? When we got our fingers burnt, we also still made some money doing that. And why we made some money, and that's why we were able to get started with a project in Abidjan. And that project in Abidjan launched us into a new level of greater height. And that's where we're able to pick up from. So you need to just get started, just disregard some of the things that you probably have if it's not going to earn you money, and focus on the one that will earn you money, because you need to start making money today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Any other question, please? Any other question? Any other question? Ruthie?
No, Coach Judy, thank you very much. I actually appreciate this lesson.
I have a question. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. Okay, so I have a question. I was wondering, like, so if one had just about a few plots, right? My thinking is that those kind of small quantities of acreages are not big deals to companies like you, right? Because oftentimes I'm not sure if they will be worth your time or resources or even. So my question is, would companies like Middle Chase be able to at least refer smaller developers who were in your shoes back in 2015 or so type time, you know, who can still do smaller properties and you know, help develop?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Everything is about money making now. No matter how, even if it's a 1 plot of land, 2 plots of land, as long as, let me tell you, if for example you have a property in a solid location, if it's even a plot of land or 2 plots of land, I will do it. Even if my company does not do it, me personally, me, Chudikalu, I will do it with you. I hope you understand my question, sir.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah,
me,
okay,
because as long as even if my property, even if my company has a policy, I will personally do with you. Because true matter is that nobody rejects anything that makes them money.
Oh, okay, true.
Nobody rejects anything that makes them money. Yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Any other question?
Okay.
Yeah, Ogata, good evening.
Okay. Okay, my question. Yes, good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, please.
So my question is, you're talking about collaboration.
Yeah.
I wanted to know of collaboration with maybe you're a landowner and you need finance to build your to start work on your land. Who retains ownership of the land?
I'd like you to take that question again, please, sir.
Okay, my question is based on the fact that you said people can collaborate to earn rental income from a particular project. So for landowners now, for landowners that want to go into this kind of collaboration, at the end of the day, who is the person that retains the ownership of the land?
Now it depends on who. It depends on what on the equity everybody is bringing in. If, for example, the cost of the land is valued at, let me say, the cost of the land, like the one we were doing in Okwebi, the cost of the property is of the land itself is worth about 600 million naira. The cost of what we are bringing into the transaction in terms of development and facility that will run in the property is going to be worth about 1.8 billion. That means we are investing 3 times what the man who owns the property is doing. That means, in a way, whether we like it or not, he can't be the owner of the land anymore. I hope you understand me, sir. And after all, we're going to give him, after all, he's going to earn over, he's going to get about 40 units of apartment that will be worth 1.8 billion naira. So surely, or 1.6 billion naira, surely it can't be claiming ownership of the land anymore. Do you understand? They can't claim ownership of the land anymore. So it just depends on how you're able to draft the transaction so that at the end of the day, every party wins. You could also go in such a way that even when you are not even the owner, you could also say, let's just maybe want to run facility on the project and want to set up a facility management company. Both you and the person who is coming to do that one, you can now form a collaboration between the two of you, whereby you own a company. You can run a corporation, sign it up and say, okay, Taiwo Adelakun as shareholder. Shareholder owns 30% of maybe the company that is now coming together. And the other group of people that are coming, pulling in funds to run this construction, maybe whatever they are bringing in is about this particular number. You now do a collaboration and they become your shareholder. So everything will now be based on what each person's equity is on the project. So it may not necessarily be one person. What if there are about 20 of them who are coming together to pull in funds together? So maybe whatever your percentage will be, it might just be maybe 30%. And if there are 20 of them, it will now be 20%, but 20%, whatever equity that each of them has contributed will now be based on the percentage of the whatever they've shared. So it's based, you're going to be based on that you can now run that. You can't really say you are the owner, you are going to be the owner because you brought in the land, because it's a joint venture. Why you are risking your land? Somebody is risking his fund, his money. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Any other question?
So let me be clear on what you just explained now.
Yeah.
I'm a bit confused here.
Yeah.
So if he's not the owner of the land, but you have given him 40 units from the 200 units you're building.
Yeah.
And then you also talked about he can decide to start taking rent out of 20 of it.
Yeah.
It's up to him.
Yes.
Is there now an extra agreement? Is there because now he owns 40%, 40 units in it, which is forever, right? If I'm not mistaken, or is there a time limit?
It's forever.
So indirectly, does that not also give him a right to the land, to the property, to what the
when you are
investment
coming, everybody, when they are coming to equity, they drop whatever they are going to get. Everybody drops your paper. This is your paper. You drop it.
Okay.
Because tomorrow you could come and say, Shebi, I'm the owner of this property. All this property that has been built here is my own.
Yeah, I understand that.
Do you understand?
But
so to protect everybody,
saying,
yeah, okay, I'm listening.
I'm saying because, okay, so I stay in Oniru here, and I know that a lot of developers here go into partnerships with people who have lands here, and they say, okay, we'll build this amount of units, and then I will take rent from this unit for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
I will take this for the next 15 years. Yeah. I'm saying now, I'm trying to bring that into this that you're saying, and I'm saying, if he decides to start taking rents, are you going to come back in like 10, 20 years to tell him, okay, you have taken enough money in this?
No.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to be clear on that.
Whatever is.
Okay.
Well, you can't, that because it's like a contract. You've done the contract and you are relinquishing 40% of the entire stuff. It's also not like you have sold it out back to him. That's what it means by doing that to him. So it may now be that, okay, oh, you know what? If he's relinquishing that, that means he's not going to have any interest on that land whatsoever. Even to the point of managing the property, depending on how magnanimous the developer is. That's why they cannot bring him into, because that one is not based on negotiation. They cannot bring him into facility management and all that. Because if the man was to sell his land to them, he will have sold it for 600 million naira. But because he has chosen not to sell his land to them that way, he's now saying, okay, you know what, instead of you paying me money, pay me in assets, such that in next 24 months or maybe 36 months, I will have the assets, and my assets will be worth 1.8 billion naira or 1.6 billion naira. There's no way the man property will, no matter what, in 1 year or in 2 years, will be worth 1.6 billion naira from 600 million naira. There's no way. Except maybe by one divine help of God, that this property will be worth 1.6 billion. So he is able to say, okay, bring development to my project so that I can now have something. I can get my cash return. I can build it. I can be able to make some money from it, and I can also do I can do a lot of stuff. So you are the one who is the developer is the one, or the developer or the person who is financing the project is the one who is taking much more risk. If not, the man's property has always been there for long. The land has always been there for many years. Why haven't anybody taken advantage of that? So he's not taking as much risk as the person who is bringing in funds into the project. Any other question?
Coach Rudy, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, I have a lot of clients who have reached out to me in this corona period to help them get rid, or as you say, destroy their property.
Yeah.
Ruth, we have one property plot of land that we bought in Mowo. Not Mowo, Mowo.
Mowo, that's in Badagry.
That's Badagry side in 1974 during the war. And we want to sell it. And we want to sell it. Ruth, how far? One person said, Ruth, you are the one that will sell this property. I said, bro, I don't used to go to that side. My power is not reach that side. It's only on the island I have power. On that side, I don't have. And he reached out to me the other day and he told me he's cash strapped. And so I asked him how much he bought the property then, and he told me 150,000 or a plot.
Yeah.
You know, then and now, between then and now, it's been almost how many years, and that property has not even reached up to, it has not even gotten up to 1 million. It's just there like a stone, and I do not know what to do. I don't know how to destroy that property for him. He keeps calling me every time, saying we have any luck. I'm like, any luck? Who wants to go into the jungle? I don't know how to destroy it. Like you said, the other man that asked you a question, he said he should destroy the farm because it's not going to, there's no usability on it. You cannot create constant flow for him. So I really do not know how to get rid of this property. You know, I'm thinking of calling him later to and say, bro, please stop calling my number, because he's calling me as if I'm the one that gave him the line. He's very rude. Alpha, nothing. You never. I said, bro, calm down. You know.
I understand that part. Understand the part. I understand very clearly what a lot of people are going through in terms of the land that they have. But you know, sometimes there are two ways to go about it. This is that you find, if you are looking for buyers, you will not find. But if you are looking for partners, you will find.
Definitely.
If you are looking for partners, you will find. People are looking for leverage and everything. Even during this Corona period, what people are looking for? People are looking for ways to make money. They're not looking for ways to spend money. They're looking for what will help them make money. So what a landowner should be thinking about, should be thinking of how to help people, investors, make money. Let me tell you this. The reason why people buy property from us as a company, is because we are helping them to make money. So take away the fact that, if you take away the fact that people aren't going to make money, nobody will come to you. Everybody wants to make money, and if you give them the opportunity of making money, they will give you money. So for you as a landowner, what you should be thinking about is for people to be able to make money through you. I gather when I mean I have a good what do I call it now? I have a good rapport with my market, because most people who come to us, who come to me, or who come to us whatsoever, all they are thinking about is that they know that one way or another, Coach Judy and his team are probably going to help us to be able to make money. And so once that property landowner is interested in that, you find out that it becomes very easy and less stressful for you to make money. So that's what the landowner should be thinking about. Yeah.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, sir. I'll speak to him about it and see if he has any friends that he can leverage on to do JV.
Yeah. He will have friends. Even his friends will not want to give him money.
Of course.
You don't know. You don't get.
Yes, I know.
Even his friends won't want to give him money. No friend will want to give anybody money until they understand that you are going to provide them leverage, that they're also going to be making money alongside with you. So if they're not going to make money from you, nobody will give you money, no matter how good your friend is. Even your friend will not want to give you money because they will be scared of you that you'll not be able to return the money. But when they know that it is business that we are both doing, they will rather want to invest with you. Some family members won't give you money until they know that they can make money back from you. So what anybody who is a landowner should be thinking about leverage for every other person. I want to be able to make sure that people also are able to make money with me. I am not the only one that should make money. Any developer that is making money alone and his clients are not making money is a wicked developer. Any developer that is only making money and his other clients are not making money, that developer is wicked. And so the truth of the matter is this: everyone who wants to make money in real estate has the opportunity of making money if they can make it. That as a landowner, if they give other people, other investors, the opportunity to also make money alongside them. So owning a land is useless if you are not thinking in terms of making other people make money with you. And that is what we call, that's how you can use leverage. I hope I'm clear on that question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Do you have any other question? 7 o'clock, we are up. 7 o'clock.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Quick question. Perchance, these videos, is there a way someone can have access to them? So for during our spare time, we can go through them and
Yeah.
all that,
Yeah.
because network has been poor and
Yeah.
I've skipped some things and all that stuff. So if
We're
there
really
is,
sorry. Yeah, there's a recording already of it going on, and I think you can watch it on YouTube. Coach Judy. If you go to Coach Judy, in the next 24 hours, you should be able to get the
even for the,
get it.
okay, including the other one.
Including the other one. The other one is also available too.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for connecting with us. I hope that you've been able to learn something. I'm going to send a free material for us on this. I'm going to do a write-up during this weekend and how we can participate as a landowner and able to build wealth, so that at least it can help us in our journey to be able to assess our investment as we go ahead. Thank you very much. God bless you. Stay free. I appreciate you guys for connecting with me on this particular on this day and this location. Thank you.